rolling.
All right. Hey guys, Nate here, head coach Alpine CrossFit. We had a lot of questions about our new upcoming training cycle that we just started this week after last week's assessment week. So I figured I'd answer a few of them via here. So this cycle is going October 16th to January 6th, 12-week cycle. It should bring us right up to the perfect time to start prepping for the open format. The open is usually mid to late February, so it'll give us about a month and a half, 6 weeks or so to get into the open style, give you guys a little bit of a back off, but also ramp up that intensity towards open style workouts. But this cycle, we had a big shift. Our last few cycles have had way more strength bias, building that strength platform and technique platform when it comes to the Olympic lifts for full snatch and full clean. In this cycle, we're actually kind of flipping it to the opposite side of the spectrum. We're practicing a lot more gymnastics volume and strength. So people will not only be doing a lot of body weight strength as well as volume accumulation, but you're also going to be knowing your minimums and maximums. So if you can do 20 unbroken kipping butterfly pull-ups, that's fantastic. But if you can only do 20 and then drop down to 2s, that's not going to help you too much building in the open. So we're trying to raise not only your maximums for max sets, but we're also trying to raise that bare minimum, that weight that you can get away with hitting for 3 to 5 reps or 5 to 10 reps, however you need to, depending on the type of gymnastics. But that's one of our main priorities with this current cycle. We also want to build in the complexity of it. We are going to be doing more muscle up transition technique on the rings as well as bar muscle ups because they've shown up in the open as well. We might even get into some pistol progressions a little bit later into the season. And then knowing your scales is going to be one of the biggest factors for this particular focus. A lot of people found out this week that when I say 6 to 8 reps unbroken, it doesn't mean 2 sets of 4. It doesn't mean 3, 3, and 2. It means that you need to hit a certain scale. And if you can't hit that scale, you need to back off and know how to progressively overload that particular movement. So it's going to make people very familiar with knowing, but also being comfortable with scaling when the time calls for it. Our other big emphasis point and programming point for this cycle is aerobic capacity and variance. You guys have been doing a lot of power workouts, a lot of mixed modal stuff, a lot of like shorter duration workouts, a lot of power workouts. But we're gonna flip that on its head again, and we're going to be going for more short, mid, and long range aerobic capacity, and that can look like rowing repeats, that can look like running repeats, that can look like certain time frames or certain effort ranges in a time frame to give you guys that feeling of riding the line of going almost anaerobic, or redlining, but we're not actually going to get there, or we're going to try not to. Main reason because if we can build your aerobic capacity and your familiarity within these ranges, you can take a look at a workout and how many modalities are in that workout, and you can assess what you know your pace and your heart rate and that feel to be. And we want to make you more familiar with that without beating you up. A new component that's going to be coming up for scores, everybody wants some type of metric to score for their workout, is going to be an RX time frame consistency. So what we'll do is we'll designate certain time frame consistencies, like a pace of a 5K row or a 1K row or a 1 mile run, and you only get to count those rounds RX if you stay within that time frame capacity or a time frame consistency. And the reason we're doing that is because a lot of people think that high intensity effort should be deemed RX, whereas I think for this cycle in particular that RX should be whoever's training the smartest and hitting the numbers that we want you to hit for progress down the road, not so you can just make yourself do a blackout workout every day. Last component, I know a lot of people aren't necessarily happy about this, but it's more about strength maintenance. And that's not to say that we're not going to be pushing the strength elements of this. They're just not going to be as emphasized. We have one lower body strength maintenance day of the week. We have one upper body strength maintenance day of the week. And then we do have our gymnastic strength, stuff like that. So what I'm hoping is that with the familiarity in these new aerobic capacities, you guys won't be as beat up. With the gymnastics volume and strength, you're going to learn how to use your core, your midline a lot more effectively. And with the strength maintenance stuff, you won't be unfamiliar with the weights that you've been hitting. And down the road, when we start bumping that intensity up towards the open, you guys will be hitting consistent high percentages and high intensity of the PRs that you've set in the last few months. Could you progress and set new 1 rep, 2 rep, 3 rep PRs? Absolutely. It just depends on how you respond to it, but that's just not our main focus at this point. Other than that, I hope that answers any questions you guys might have had. If you have other ones, feel free to email me, nate@alpinecrossfit.com, and have fun.